Security now. The Nigerian Navy says its forward operating base Ibokoda in Ondo on Wednesday intercepted a 77-meter-long motor tanker believed to have been involved in stealing crude. They arrested the motor tanker VINNA-LARS-1 Lagos that had 17 crew members on board. According to the Navy, at the time of arrest, the motor tanker was engaging in illegal siphoning of crude oil from one of the wellheads at a Besan oil field about 7 nautical miles off the coast of Awoye Riverine community in a larger local government area of the state. A statement by the spokesperson of the Navy confirms that the anti-crude oil theft patrol team of Igbokoda had approached the motor tanker, prompting the 2 other boats attached to it to flee after sighting the naval personnel. Meanwhile, the management of the pipeline surveillance contractor, TVC Security Services, has described the accusations against its company by the Nigerian Navy as saddening and disappointing. Executive Director on Operations and Technical of the company, Owarid Eniso, in a statement says the Navy is preventing its operatives and other security agencies from boarding the seized vessel for further investigations. Captain Aniso added that there is documented video evidence of what transpired at the scene, and it's been sent to the relevant authorities for further investigation.
Telling us to leave this place, that it is.
What I say you are running us, but you guys are shooting gun. You shoot at us.
For more on the crude oil theft, I'm joined on the news by Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command, Rear Admiral Mustafa Hassan. Rear Admiral, thank you for joining us on the news this hour. Let's begin with how your officers were able to detect and arrest the oil thieves.
Can you hear me?
Very clearly, Admiral.
Okay, good evening. I would like to start by saying, on behalf of the Chief of Defense Staff and other service chiefs, I'll extend my deepest sympathies to the families of those that lost their lives in the mishap in Kaduna a few days ago. Now, regarding the botched crude oil theft at Awoye Riverine waters in Ondo State, we had intelligence that something was in the offing, and a lot of money has been given around to quieten all the stakeholders that are supposed to clamp down on the oil thieves. So we swung into action and made sure that we stealthily left the base to the ship. Normally, when my men go out with their boats, they are recognized and lots of logs are put on the road and wire traps are put to stop them. But this time around, they were deployed off the base and they used a different kind of boat with a different silhouette to go and stop the incident. Strangely, the Awoye Riverine community is loaded with militants, and it's also dominated by Tantita security agents. So I found it strange that I wasn't given intelligence regarding this incident, even though informants were able to pass this to me. So my men approached the boat. They took off by 200 on the 6th and approached the boat by 0300 on the 7th. They met a slight resistance at the boat. They were fired at and they too responded safely, and the two speedboats fled the scene. When they got on board, they saw that the wellhead was connected with 2 pipes, and it was loading the ship. It was actively going on. So they clamped on the men, arrested 17 people, and by morning time I got there, everything was in order. Then I got a report that Tantita operators want to take the ship to Oporoza somewhere in the creeks in Delta State for inspection. And that beats me. How? Where does that happen? They don't have the constitutional mandate to take a ship from a legitimate security agency for whatever reason. So, second, I was also surprised to see news on TV, on social media, that the security agents, the Tantita people, wanted to board and come for testing before blah, blah, blah. Importantly, we've declared that it was crude oil. We know it was crude oil. It was off the wellhead. So why come to test?
Rear Admiral, I don't know if you have seen the viral video linking your officials to something sinister by the Tantita men. I'm wondering what you make of this. Is this the same vessel, the oil theft that was reported earlier?
It's obviously the same vessel, and I must have been on that vessel at that time. It was daytime, as you can see, but the incident happened overnight. We have strong suspicion that it was Tantita men that sped up with the speedboat and came back later in the day to try by all means to recover the ship and the product to their creeks for whatever reason. If you check their mandate, they don't have any clause that says they can take ships from the Navy to the creeks for inspection. Once we arrest the ship, it's done. We hand over to relevant agencies for further action, not to Tantita. Right. It's like flipping the table upside down.
You have made several arrests, no doubt, yet these oil thieves seem to keep going on. Just how equipped would you say your men are to tackle this challenge, especially within your command?
Yeah, before I go on to that question, I must remind all of us that the mandate of Tantita is surveillance. They're supposed to gather intelligence, like this intelligence we got at the border. It's supposed to come from Tantita. I work with a number of other civilian contractors, and I get intelligence from them, but not Tantita. If you dominate an area, why not come with the intelligence and feed? Now to your question, why it's continuing. We have too many abandoned wellheads in our maritime area. There's a need for the IOCs to decommission these wellheads. It's like making meat available to a lion. We also need to get the Navy involved in physicalization. We need to know what is pumped and with the quantity taken away. For example, this vessel that got arrested, if by accident it was legitimate, it's a 15,000 ton vessel. If it was licensed to take 10 and it took 15 and we're not there to monitor, who will?
Rear Admiral Mustafa Hassan is the Flag Officer Commanding Western Naval Command. Thank you for sharing your thoughts with us on the news this hour. We'll continue this conversation subsequently.